Okay, today we are going to work on my 3 weeping willows. This is the first one I bought. The one that either the other trees came off of, or they came off the other tree. I think all of my trees I have now came off this one. I had some cuttings that were small and died over the winter that were maybe off the second tree, but I think the 2 I have, I know the one I have is the first piece off of it, and then the other one I think is off this one too. Now what we're going to do is I'm just going to do some trimming on this. First of all, nah, leave the roots. It ain't gonna bother nothing. I keep these all in water in the bottom of their pots. I keep them in containers. This one I keep in a container just like this, but I have 2 bricks in it to raise it up so the whole thing isn't submerged in water, but it keeps the soil wet. It's wet, and weeping willows like their roots wet, so that's why you see them a lot on growing really good on river banks. This I'm just going to do some trimming back and getting rid of some. These, I want to get rid of all these, most of these. They sprouted out this spring, and I was letting them for a little bit, but I don't want to let them grow too big, except for this one. I think I'm going to remove this one and keep this one on the other side, because I had removed a branch here that was way too thick for the overall look of the tree, and I kept this one because it was thinner. But I don't particularly like how this part of the trunk goes this way and this branch goes this way. I think it would look better with this branch eventually becoming the first branch. So we'll take care of that first. Okay, so get rid of this one. Get it flush to the thing. Get rid of this one. Pull out these maple trees that have grown in here. They have taken off this year. The maple leaves from the maple trees behind me. I mean, usually they grow in a lot of places, but they're really taking over this year. It was really good for them, I guess, the weather this spring. And we'll get rid of this back one. And why I left them for a little bit was I figured we could get a little bit of thickening at the bottom of the tree with them. This one, like I said, we're going to keep. I'm going to trim it back, but we will be keeping this one. Okay, and this one's going to go, because we got this branch up here that's fine, but these 2 parallel and they don't look so great. So we're going to chop off that branch. Might make a cutting out of that branch. Cuttings are really easy on the weeping willows. All you have to do is put them in a cup of water and they'll root right in the cup of water. Oh, another maple leaf. Okay, now we got some dead branches up here. They were young shoots that didn't make the winter. And then this died off the end here. Clean it up a little bit. This doesn't work. This is pointing down. I can get rid of that. Okay. Now, I will, okay, I'm gonna get the scissors, shears, cut this here. I usually cut these, and I usually try to it hasn't been repotted this year yet. I will be repotting it soon, but I still don't have my soil in yet, so the stuff for my soil, so that'll wait a little longer. But I usually do these twice, repot these twice a year, because the roots grow like crazy on just like the tree itself grows, the root system grows really vigorous. So I'm not going to touch these just because it's small, really small. We don't need to mess with any of these. This will be cut back. Cut it back to there. Don't need to leave that much. And then we got these two up here. I don't really think I want this little one here, so that one's gonna go. Let me get the other branch cutters for this. Okay, now I'm also going to cut the top back. Let's see, we had it coming out this way this time, so I will cut it back to here and let this one come out as the new leader. And rotate it around. I think I might have to do a little, when this heals over, this will have to be cut back maybe on the sides to not make it too wider than it should here. It's got a little bit of reverse taper at this end. It's fine this way, but this way, but I'll let it heal over first, and it's coming along. So also think I'm going to put some wire on this piece of wire over here. Now, I will wire this, but I will not leave it long. I probably won't even leave it a week, because it'll start these grow so quick. It'll start biting in a week. And if I need to wire it again, I will. I don't wire, I really try not to wire weeping willows any more than I have to, because they will dig in easily. So you keep that in mind if you ever do a weeping willow. I think, yeah, I still have some marks here and here. I mean, they're not bad marks. They will eventually, you won't see them very much, but just slight marks that made a little bit of a, when I did it before. But just gonna pull this down a little bit. Get this yeah, and that'll hopefully, ooh, shoot, you know what? We're gonna actually cut this back into a different spot. Now I look at it, I don't want to grow in, I don't want the next one growing up. I want it growing like out like this one is. So, cut that off. Yeah, I didn't notice that when I was clipping that. Okay, rotate this around. Looks like it's drastic, but this weeping willow will burst out in a week or so. It won't take long. They grow like weeds practically. Okay, here's my slanted weeping willow. I'm going to leave, I think I'm just going to leave this growing, because the tree is a little on the small side and still needs to do some growing. Got something growing here. pull the weeds out. So all this stuff on the bottom I'm keeping, like especially this is just tiny. Let's cut the little dead tip off here. This I'm going to keep for now, and this is definitely not going to go, but I think so I can get some of the lower stuff in better, you know, to grow a little bit. I'm going to cut the top, but what I'm going to do is cut it back to this one here and let this become the new leader. So look at that. And then clean this up. Yeah, clean that up. And a bud here that I won't need. Just remove that. Leave that growing there. And that's all we're going to do with this one. This one didn't have much to be done. This one's never really gotten going yet. I had it, well, it is a cutting from last year, so it only has so much to go. We'll go to the next one. Okay, this is the top to the first one I did, which is the original one. This was the top, and what had happened to this one is it had broke here, so I had to leave a little shoot growing. And this one is actually thicker than the other one higher up. But the problem with it is there's a reverse taper here where the new thing grew out, so it looks a little funny. I'm just keeping it growing in case maybe someday that I can correct that. Like maybe I can get something to bud out one time down here. So we're just going to cut this back to just keep it trimmed. I'm going to cut this back. I'm going to cut this top off. This will be the new leader here. And then we will take a look at the bottom. What the bottom needs cutting. Okay. I think I'm going to cut this off here to a branch, a bud pointing this way. This is going to go because it's pointing inwards. This will be trimmed back, just so everything is seeing the tops being trimmed back. I want the bottom trimmed back. This I'm going to remove, and I'll get the other. I'll do that when I get the other trimmers back out again to an outside. Cut that back to another outside bud. Oh no, you know what? I'm going to remove that. That's growing up. That's no good. Okay, we're going to trim this to that here. We got 3 branches coming out real close, so one of these can go at least. No, it's 4 actually. There's one in the middle here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove that one and this one growing up, and I think that'll look better. Some dead branches, but I don't need, and I got some dead things to go pick up. We're going to remove this because this is just growing up. Oh, these are going to be clipped back too. Okay, this I will trim back for now. That might get removed eventually altogether, but for now, there we go, that's a better place. And I will leave all these little ones Okay, now we just gotta use the branch cutters to clean some other stuff up. Remove that branch. We will, okay, we got, one of these probably should go. Side, but I prefer the front to be. I think I'll remove this one because I'd probably make this the front if I do something with this. Little bug. Okay. Clean that up. Clean that up. Clean this up. 2 buds I'll remove because we don't need them buds pointing up. Got one there going up. That heel over. And I'm looking at this top and I'm thinking more's coming off the top. That's awful high before I let it. I'm gonna make this the new leader. So I'll cut it off here. And that compacts the tree down more. Yeah, I was starting to think that was too long of a run, straight run to look good, I think. Get this one growing now. Yep, you always may change your mind as you're cutting through to cut back further. So only cut back as far as you're willing to at the moment, because you don't want to cut too much off, but you may end up cutting more off anyway. So clean that up. Yeah, and there's that tree now. So if you enjoyed, like, subscribe, hit the bell, and see you next time.